Street Fighter, yes, it's had single player content that you've been able to break a car, and there was one where you could parry basketballs. So yeah, there's single player content, but it's never had stuff like what we're seeing in Street Fighter 6 with this entire like open world exploration of World Tour, the Battle Hub, and Extreme Battle. Do you feel like with what we've seen so far with all this, that if Capcom does this right, all of a sudden are we is Street Fighter competing with the likes of Mortal Kombat and Tekken for single player content that people will actually buy the game for?
So I've always been an advocate for single player modes because I feel like fighting games are hard to get into. Obviously for me, like if you throw a fighting game at me, I know that I'm gonna be good at it because I've been playing it for years. But someone that really wants to come fresh into the game, they're gonna be like, oh, how do I do this? What's the mechanics? How do the mechanics work? The only reason how people know that are actually in fighting games, they know how mechanics work, is because they've dabbled around different games. We're talking about like maybe Street Fighter EX plus Alpha, Rival Schools, this game, that game. And then you see these type of mechanics and they're kind of similar. But when you've got like Street Fighter 6 now bringing in like an open world, it's like you don't really have to do much. It's probably going to have a jump button, an attack button. You're running around, you're just doing whatever you're doing. It's going to be quite simple. Right, you don't have to think about having to do a reversal when you wake up, or this is, I don't know, 10 frames, this is 15 frames, this has got recovery frames of that. That's too much for someone that just wants to play and have fun, right? So I do feel like they're going all out, and I am interested to see what they do with the open world, even the extreme match. Like, you can have fun with that too. You don't have to be like knowing how to do certain things. You just have to kind of follow the rules of what the modes are and just have fun. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be amazing for content. You don't have to just look at high level players where maybe you cannot get to that high level because they're just so amazing. You can literally just go and have fun and just hang out with your friends.
That's an interesting point of view, especially for we content creators here, right? I was looking around recently and I noticed in the old Fortnite corner of YouTube that there were people that were creating videos that were just based on, I imitated the NPC Darth Vader that's on the map, and like 16 see how many people I could get to run by me without realizing that I was an actual player. Just goofy stuff like that explodes. That people are really interested in those kinds of things, and I think Fortnite's a pretty good example because it's one of the most accessible, if not the most accessible games of all time. Does it feel like, with what we've seen, the particular content in Street Fighter 6, does it feel accessible? Or I guess the other side of that would be, does it feel like something where it was sort of forced in there and it's like, yeah, we'll make a single player mode because people have been complaining about it, but it won't be that good? Like, from what you've seen so far, how do you feel about it?
I feel like when we look at Street Fighter, I don't think people realize how much of a hard game in that it is. Like, I feel like people think, yeah, Street Fighter, like, there's always this debate about, is Tekken more harder than Street Fighter, or Street Fighter more harder than Tekken? But for me, playing fighting games growing up for like I've been playing fighting games for at least over a decade, or I'm coming up to 2 decades of playing fighting games, like, and it's like I find it hard to learn multiples of characters in Street Fighter than learning multiple characters in Tekken.
No way.
Oh yeah, I can play, like, the thing is, I can play, like, when people watch me when I stream, I play most of the characters and I've got them at like high ranks and stuff. I can play Birdie, but then like characters like Balrog and G are my sub characters, and even they are not even up to scratch. And it's like it's so hard and competitive. Like, you have to be on Street Fighter 5 like consistently to even just be at the top with those guys. Otherwise, yeah, you're falling off. Like, there's just so much.
But you can master these characters in 20 minutes, right, John?
That's there was a pro player we like to quote here on the show who said he mastered the game in 20 minutes and did not work out super well for him long term, just like what you're saying. So yes, it's quite the challenge. In from where I've seen it is Tekken characters seem to have quite a bit of overlap. There seems to be a good amount of universalism, to make up a word there, among the characters, where Street Fighter seems to have a little bit more diversity in their moveset and like specials and other stuff. Is that how you see it?
I feel like there's a certain situations in games for like Street Fighter, like for example, yeah, it's 2D, so you're thinking, yeah, they've only got a few moves, it's 2D, that's it. Tekken 7, you could do 3D stuff, but it's like with Tekken, there's like like a handful of moves that you would use in the match. Like, you know, you've got your jabs, you got your down forward ones, which is like the mid pokes, and then you got your lows. And then you got to figure out like what launches you're going to do. So the launches are the ones that hits them up in the air. Then you got the combos that kind of carry them to the wall, do the wall combo. Then you got to mix up. It's quite straightforward to me. Whereas Street Fighter, there's so much things. You're in the neutral. You're then fighting for space. You're doing the footsies. Then you got to try and, you know, if they throw out a move, and then you got to try and like punish them for throwing out a move, and then try push them into the corner. And then that's where the game starts. The mix-ups and, you know, shimmies. You knock them down. You go act like you're going to throw them, and then you move back and then you hit them. And there's a lot going on for Street Fighter, and it's kind of like I don't know, man. People will disagree with me. It's an unpopular unpopular thing to say, but me, like, growing up on both of the games, yeah, I find Street Fighter harder.
Mm-hmm. When do people disagree with you in the FGC? I've never heard of that happening. So no,
it just happens so sometimes in comment sections once in a while.
Yeah, it's so funny that you get people that have a lot of experience and stuff in the FGC, and they're trying to help out people. They're trying to educate them, and you have a lot of people come out of the woodwork and say you don't know what you're talking about, and you're an idiot because you've expressed any opinion at all. You know, kind of thing. They're like, "What have you accomplished? What have you done? Have you won $5 at Evo? Because if you haven't gotten first place, you haven't won $5 there. So whatever."
Jay, you were talking a little bit about the extreme battle mode and how that's sort of it's a removal, even though it looks like traditional Street Fighter to an extent. There's obviously some big, I guess, like Super Smash Bros. Aspects of it with items and whatnot. Tekken Ball popped up in Tekken 3, and it was a big deal. My question to you, how big of a deal was Tekken Ball in Tekken 3? And is any of that magic, do you think, is that going to get captured in what we're seeing in Street Fighter 6's Extreme Battle?
Tekken 3 was a big deal because I feel like people do tournaments on it up until this day. Like, bro, they've even found a way how to play it online. Like, everyone has tried something with that mode because that mode was great excellence. Like, that was just like, wow. Like, we can have fun. We don't have to do like anything special. Hit the ball forward. Hit it with a powerful attack. Then you have to hit it back. And it's just easy. Like, it's so fun. Like, it's up until this day, people still play it. I wish that they put it in Tekken 7 or Tekken 8. Like, I pray. Please. Just put it in. Like, I promise you'll get a great result out of it. People will be happy. Like, it's just such fun. Will we see something similar in Street Fighter 6? I've already seen that they got like these beach balls where they were hitting the balls back.
Yep.
But it's weird because I'm thinking, look, Tekken, you're making Street Fighter 6 come in, and they've got this now. Like, should have been done ages ago. But yeah, I think a lot of people are gonna have fun with extreme mode, and I feel like I feel like Street Fighter 6 is understanding about content creation and people capitalizing on making content that isn't you just going to ranked and being at the top rank. It's all about now playing extreme match and, you know, maybe popping off at a certain extreme match, or like, it's just fun. It's entertainment without having to be a pro player.
Now Tekken 7 did have bowling, right? Did that have any? Yeah, see, I could see it in your face right now. So what was the difference? You know, like, because one was this magical thing that's played up until today, and one we forgot about.
Did you also know that Tekken 7 had VR mode, or did you forget about that?
Right.
See what I'm saying? So it's like Tekken Ball it was fun, but it's like there was no online mode, which was absolutely insane. It's like, why would you have a mode like that but not have it online? We're in the era of online. Once you hit PS4, that is online era. You have an Ethernet cable port in your console, so you need to start catering for people online. Like, why do we have only, oh yeah, you can do ranked, oh, we get to the highest rank, oh, you've got Tekken God Prime or Tekken God Omega, okay, do it with another character. Gets boring after a while. If you had Tekken Ball now, and it's like, all right, yeah, you can play online. Even if they didn't have the ranks, it was just like, yeah, you can play your friend. That's different type of content. You could do even like a tournament, have 8 guys around, you know, maybe some pro players, maybe even casuals that just play Tekken Ball. Let's do bowling. Oh, you bowl it. That's content again. And I feel like with fighting games, they don't really understand that. They don't understand the fighting game culture. They're making fighting games, but they don't understand the fighting game culture of what we want to see in terms of just having a 1v1 or whatever, tag, whatever, but then also having modes where we can create other types of content or have other types of fun.